It's TK Irish at the Camp Kennerk podcast. It's Sunday. It's baseball. It's the field of dreams. You know, we always talk about how the hopes and desires and dreams of the ball players uh, always are at the top of the list of what we talk about. But today we're going to talk about something like where do they have these dreams come true? So we're going to talk about some of the oldest minor league baseball clubs in America. And we're going to start off with one, Jackie Robinson Ballpark. Yes, started in 1914. And it's over there in Daytona, uh, Florida. Here's the fun fact. It was where the first racially integrated spring training game was played during the Jim Crow era. It was on March 17th, 1946. Jackie Robinson took the field for the AAA Montreal Royals. So you can really say the rest is history. And you know, Doug the neighbor, they kicked this off on St. Patrick's Day. So obviously they knew a little bit of luck of the Irish would come into play. We have Lecom Park, and this is in Bradenton, Florida, opened 1923. Now these ballparks are 100 years old. And so what's really exciting is, you know, they used to have the spring training in Florida, and this ballpark hosted some of the world's famous players like Babe Ruth, Roberto Clemente, Carl Ripken Jr. You know, it's just amazing all the Field of Dreams that were produced on here. We also have in Asheville, North Carolina, the McCormick Field. Once again, the great history, opened in 1924. And once again, who played there? Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig. And this is what the favorite part is. Doug the neighbor, this is where they filmed Bull Durham. Yes, your favorite movie, the movie that you watch at least twice a week. And so we have the Bowman Field. This is Williamsport, Pennsylvania, opened 1926. And the cool thing about this is where they host the Major League Little League Classic. That's a mouthful. What that is it brings the big league teams to play in this setting during the World Series of Little League. So they got double whammy there. Uh, and coming up, we have modern Woodman Park in Davenport, Iowa. And started in 1931 and hosted the River Bandits baseball team continuously since 1931. Think of that. Same ballpark, same team for over 90 years. So this is where the Field of Dreams really come to play because you have to have the players have their hopes and dreams, but this is where they have to perform to make the dreams come true. So Doug the neighbor, what do you think about going out to some of these older ballparks and seeing how life really is?
TK, so good to see you on this Sunday morning. Nice and shaved up here, buffed up, looking good. Got my El Paso Chihuahuas hat on and got my coffee right here. You've got your coffee right there? Mm,
Liquid confidence, baby.
mm. Get up and go, Joe. Get up and go, Joe. Yes. So good to see you. And we have some very interesting information for you. And I love your information concerning the older ballparks, minor league ballparks. And let me give me a second here because I can get to one of those because I have a personal connection with one of them. So, but first off, we do a little situation every now and then because my neighbor Perry O is a retired chef, and we do something called Look What Perry Cooked Up. And these are some possum trot cookies that we send on over to our servicemen overseas. It's a charitable endeavor that I've been doing for the last 5 years, and I believe your boy Kevin in the Marines received some of these cookies.
Yes, and matter of fact, that subject came up the other night at the dinner table when he was saying, "Hey, what do I need to do to get some of those cookies from the Possum Trot Bakery?" Yeah, Doug used to send me. I said, "Hey, you got to enlist, or in your case, re-enlist." He said, "Ah." Now, next time I'm in Austin, I'll just stop by and buy some.
Okay. All right. Well, if you do, you don't have to buy some, but if you wish to make a donation, it is a charitable endeavor. And it's been going on for 5 years. So these cookies here, and there's some extras, and they're really, really good. And I'm eating your share.
I noticed that. I wasn't going to say anything, but since you brought that up,
And with some coffee in the morning, mm. They're really good. And what the rule around here is that when Barrio brings the cookies on over, I have one for taste, the second one for consistency, and then I get them out of here because they're really, really good.
that's pretty good theory there. Get them out there.
Yes. Now, let's move on a little bit. This is our sports show. This is our 79th podcast that we are doing. So I'm very, very happy concerning this, doing this Sunday morning with all of our listeners around the galaxy. They're checking their ball scores. And we, of course, have got some information concerning the minor leagues in baseball because that's where hopes and dreams live. And we wish to promote these young men and women who work in that business in baseball and behind the scenes in marketing and supporting the parks. And so I've got a very interesting story for you. But first off, and along the lines of sports, we do something every now and then when my pal Allie, who used to manage the CVS drugstore over here, she went to work for the post office. So now she's on, uh, and she sends in her steps because if you go on your cell phone or your wristwatch, that'll measure your steps. And Allie has been kind enough to send in her steps for her work. And she's now driving a small truck. You know, they got the big trucks and she's got the little neighborhood trucks, I call. And she's telling me that she is doing 6.6 miles per day.
Per
She was
day.
at 9 and 10 miles, but now she's at 6.6.
That's not
So,
a week. That's one day. That's 24 hours. Actually, not 24 hours. It's probably like a 10-hour shift.
yes, and it's every day.
Yeah.
Now, the first day you go for a walk, that was a long walk. The second day, that's kind of a long walk. The third day, oh my God, that's a long walk. And then getting in and out of that truck, think of that so maybe we should start sponsoring some support hose for her and all the posties out there.
Yeah. Well, I like the idea, but there's mail postmen as well. So
Oh yeah.
you,
Well, my dad was a postman. When he retired from the army, he became a
Mhm.
postman. So he did it. He enjoyed it. He said he lost a lot of weight and he liked it. So met the neighbors, that sort
Yeah.
of stuff. Yeah. So, well, let's move on a little bit as I have a surprise for you. On Tuesday, I went to the Round Rock Express baseball game up in Round Rock, which is about 20 miles north of Austin, because they were playing my El Paso Chihuahuas.
How
And
fun is that? Did they recognize you when you went into the box seats and sat next to the owner?
well, I wish I could have but I have a little bit of a story here for you that's kind of interesting. And here you go, some Round Rock Express. There you go. I'll get to that in a minute. In the minor leagues, especially the AAA, they travel on a Monday, then they play a 6 game series in each town. So there's not as much travel, which is kind of interesting because they're there for a while. And Tuesday was a day game. So being an old retired goat, I drove on up for a game there and got there at noon for the noon game. And it's a nice drive on up there, that sort of stuff. But I have some interesting situations that happen, and I need your comments concerning this. All right. This is very, very interesting. Okay. And first off, I would like to say that parking. Are you ready?
Okay.
Parking is $15.
Well, that's the price of the tickets, isn't it?
Hold on, my great friend. Okay. The ticket was $13.
Well, they're going to get your money one way or the other, Doug the neighbor.
Right. And when I looked at the receipt, which I'll get to that story in just a second, the ticket is $10, but the service charge is $3.
And
Okay.
you did you walk up to the ticket counter and buy these, or did you buy them online?
Oh, you're getting ahead of me. This is too good because they don't take cash when the parking guy says I had to dig into my wallet and hit the thing, the tap. It says
Magic box. Yeah.
tap the box, get beeped or something. It's $15. And then the ticket was $13. And I'm standing there at the ticket window and I was like, wait a minute. The parking is more expensive than the ticket. And the ticket's $10 and it's a service charge. And I'm standing right here. It's not like they're mailing it to me. Okay, it gets better. Now there's two young guys working the window. I get it. They're working the window. They got a job. Okay. So I said, well, I'd like a $13 ticket. And he said, well, we'll take your card. Well, can I pay cash? Can I pay cash? No, we don't take cash. Nobody takes cash. Nobody. That's the recurrent. Nobody takes cash. Okay. So he says, here you go. And he says, well, can I have your email address? Well, I don't want to give you my email address. I just want the ticket. Tap it. It says, well, I need your email address for the receipt. And so we can send you marketing stuff. I said, well, if I don't give you my email address, I don't care about the receipt because it's on my bank, the Chase Bank. There's my receipt. And I don't want the marketing stuff. Well, we can't give you the ticket. The kid was the assistant, the boss that kind of was over there said, well, we can't give you the ticket. I said, I just want a baseball ticket. He kind of gave me some lip. And I looked at him and said, you're going to be in my podcast. So I'm doing exactly what I said. That kid was giving me a little bit of lip.
Little attitude, huh?
Little attitude, little 25-year-old kid who's the first job. I said, look, I'm an old retired. I just want a ball ticket. He said, well, when you give us your email address and you can opt out of the marketing. Guess what? They've been sending me marketing. I can't figure out how to get out of the marketing. Okay.
It's a conspiracy, Douglas.
It's a
Once
conspiracy.
again.
Yeah. And so then they asked for my phone number. And I said, well, can I just have the ticket? Please, just give me the ticket. And he said, well, that's how you get your ticket because when you go up to the other gate to get in, there's an old retired guy. And I said, well, do you enjoy working there? Yeah. And then you got to show him your phone to get the ticket and get in. So I finally got in. But right now I'm a little ticked off.
A little cranky. Doug the
A
neighbor's
little
getting cranky.
I'm a little cranky, at the process. All right. So then I said, well, the first thing I'm going to do, it's too early for a cold one. So I go on over and get a hot dog. Okay. Now we've got a quick picture of the hot dog. Now I like hot dogs without the bun. No bread and anything. I like bread, but I'm just cutting down a little bit. So here's a picture of the hot dog. Now, the hot dog, take a guess at the price of the hot dog. Now,
$15.
no, it was only $7, but it was a little worn out.
Yeah, recycled.
It was a little worn out, So I almost wanted to throw it away, but I was so hungry, that sort of stuff. So I'm sitting there at the game. Now, it's a day game, and it's called Education Day. Okay, so I was expecting. So I'm walking, and they have all these prices for the tickets from $13, $10 plus service charge, up to $75. But I paid $13. I went and sat any place I wanted. I sat on the first base side between first, home and first, 5 rows up. That's it. Perfect, just perfect for me. Plenty of space, just laying back, sunshine. It was kind of cloudy, so it wasn't too hot. Okay. When I got there, Solak, the first baseman, blasted a ball over the fence on the right-hand side. So everyone's up and screaming and that sort of stuff. Now, I said it was Education Day. All right. What's Education Day? Why are all these kids out of school on a Tuesday here in the stands?
Well, Doug, the
And,
neighbor, the education is that, watch baseball. That's the education. See how people get ticked off when they won't take cash or they won't give you an actual ticket, or you got to complain about a worn out hot dog. That's the education that they're getting.
oh, yeah, I'm sure. Sure. Okay. So, anyway, everybody's jumping up and down. Now, what was interesting was the in between each inning, they would have entertainment on the field, which was one was people dressed up, a person dressed up as a pizza or a hot dog or a car, and they'd run from first to third, and the participant, one of the fans, would win a hot dog or something like that, a bag of goodies or something like that. And behind me, they had four gals who were holding Whataburger signs, and they would ask them questions about Whataburger, and it would flash up and their pictures up there. And so that's how they entertained during the innings, but it was so loud. I mean, TK, am I really getting old? But this was really, really, really loud, you know, to entertain the fans in the yeah, oh yeah. I mean, I was going like this, you know. And one of the gals that was she was kind of like four seats over. There's this young kid, what was his name? Jonesy. I think his name was Jonesy. Nice young kid, big deep voice. And he would go around the stands with the camera person and said, "Would you like to be a Round Rock Express dancer?" And what they did is they would get up on the dugout roof and dance. And we've got a quick video of the gal who was sitting next to me, and she was dancing.
Is it on the third base side, Andy Davis? Or on the first base side, Mrs. Sullivan? Looks like Mrs. Sullivan is our RBSU's shining star this afternoon.
Okay, she was dancing, and she got a hot dog or a something, 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 whatever. Now, backing up a little bit, when I first got there, there was a beautiful statue of Nolan Ryan, and I think we have a picture of it. So we have a picture of Nolan Ryan. That was great. That was good. Okay, so and I got this booklet here, the Round Rock Express, but I couldn't find a place to buy a scorecard.
Well, that's because you do it on your phone now, Douglas.
Oh no, there were people in the stands, but that have their own books. But I'm old school. Get the pencil there and draw and do that sort of stuff. But you couldn't buy one. I thought, wait a minute, they need to do this because this is not a scorecard.
Well, Douglas, that could be another $1 million idea for you.
Absolutely true. Absolutely true. So I was very excited about that, but wished that I could have gotten a scorecard. So, but okay, no big deal. I'll just sit back and enjoy the game. Okay. Now, the one of the things was that, well, it's the middle of the day. I had the hot dog. I wanted to go get a Dr. Pepper. Okay, go get a Dr. Pepper. I said, well, they've had something there called an Elvis milkshake. And I go on to, what's an Elvis milkshake? And he said, well, it's peanut butter and ice cream and something else and something else. And I said, well, is it going to give me a heart attack? And he said, probably. It's really good. I said, sign me up. So I got one, and I got this express cup right here, you see, and it was a milkshake. So
Well, that's exciting. Not only did you get, a couple thousand calories that you really didn't bargain for, but you got a free memento, free gift with purchase.
Yes, and I wished I'd had some of my Cracker Pop caramel popcorn from our sponsor up there in Landers, Wyoming. That would have been good. Oh,
Oh yeah, yeah, that would have been.
yeah. So anyway, I had a great time. There were two people in the stands, one in front of me and one over the side of me, that had El Chihuahua hats on. Both of them were from El Paso. And so I was very happy to be there for the game. And then I left about the sixth inning because the sun was getting a little hot, and I was, just ready to go. I got work to do, and the Round Rock Express scored 2 runs in the eighth inning, and they won 6-4. They won 6-4. Okay, so that was good fun. Now, here is, like I had said, in the minor leagues, you travel on a Monday, then you play 6 games at that home team. And so the El Paso Chihuahuas lost on Tuesday 4-6, and then they won on Wednesday 14-1. They lost on Thursday 9-10. And on Friday, they lost 7-9. And then yesterday, they were rained out after the third inning when it was 1-1. And then they're going to complete the game today. And then they're going to play a doubleheader. So part of the other game in the game. And then they move on to back to El Paso where they're going to play Reno. So they're going to play Reno.
Well, it sounds like they have a very competitive team uh, with some of those scores. It sounds like there was some action going on, some hitting, running, pitching, and throwing, right?
Well, I like your attitude, but in the standings after they are 7-12 after 19 games. They're 7-12, 1-5 at home, and 6-7 on the road. And Reno is coming to El Paso. They're going back to El Paso for a home series. They're playing.
Well, if they're 6-7 on the road compared to their homestand, I think they just don't need to come home. Just leave. Let's leave. Stay out there. No, you're not coming home. You go to wherever you play, but you can't play here anymore.
Who was it? The writer who wrote the book, The Rupert Mondays. It was a short story about a ball team during World War II that was all their stadium had been destroyed or was taken over by the military, and they were always on the road. And it was they had it was called the Rupert Mondays, and the writer was a very interesting writer. Uh, I can't remember his name, but the story is called about the Rupert Mondays. It's very funny.
Okay. Yeah, I'll look that up.
Okay. Now, what's interesting about the El Paso Chihuahuas, they're hitting at 242. Yeah. They've hit 25 home runs. Chase Bowen, the center fielder, has hit 4 home runs, and Mason McCoy, the shortstop, he's hit 4 home runs. But they're pitching their 5.46 ERA, and they're allowing the other batters, the other teams, to hit 273. So, you know, they got to get their act together. But
That list is called work in progress.
absolutely true. And that is the whole purpose of the minor leagues where hope lives. The fact is that they're there, they've come up through the minor leagues, they're at the AAA. Next step is to the major leagues. So they have to hone their skills so that they are ready for the AAA.
Yes.
For the
So
major leagues. So from AAA to the major league. Yeah. So, yeah. Now, the Express are 6-4. They're doing really, really good. All right. Now, uh, the whole aspect of being there at the game was absolutely lovely. Just some hiccups here about the parking is more expensive than the ticket. Come on. Yeah. The milkshake was $9. The hot dog was $7. Everyone had a good time. And the team is owned by the Nolan Ryan family, the Ryan family. They own other minor leagues teams in Texas, and he's got the ranch and the bank, and he's got the meat processing steaks. And he's well endowed into the Texas culture.
Oh yes, I mean, he played there. Obviously he played here in Dallas for the Texas Rangers, but then he crossed the street and went down to Houston. I mean, he was in Houston first and got a start there, but he set a lot of his records here in Dallas as a Texas Ranger.
Yes, yes, a true legend. And when I was at the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, I stood there beside his statue. So me and Nolan, me and Nolan.
Yeah, we're tight, baby. We're tight.
We're tight. His fastball is 100 miles an hour. Mine's after 3 pitches up there. Could be.
Yeah. See, the thing is yours is cumulative. Yours is the total of 3 pitches, while it only takes 1 for him.
Kind of like my college grades. I've got 4.0. Cumulative. Anyway, to close out, I have one story for you. You had mentioned that the oldest minor leagues ballparks, the one in Williamsport, which is now the home of the Little League World Series, which is always good fun. Seeing those little guys jump up and down and just hustle and that sort of stuff is really, really good fun. It's good entertainment. In 1958 and 59, our family lived in Virginia. My dad was the Canadian liaison officer at the Pentagon, and we lived in Virginia for a year. And this was in the old days before the interstates. Okay. So we would drive from Virginia back to Toronto, Toronto back to Virginia, and through the old country roads to get back to Toronto. And we would stop in Williamsport. And that the hotel that is still there, because when I watch the game, I can just see that building that's kind of up there. We had a room that I could look through the window, and I remember being 10 years old and looking down the hill, and there was Williamsport where the Little League World Series played. And I thought, someday. But someday I'll hit the ball, someday I'll catch the ball, someday I'll... Just didn't work out. But you brought back beautiful memories, TK, of the time at being 10 years old, looking at the Williamsport field where the Little League World Series is, and brought back beautiful memories, and just hoping someday.
Well, as you talk about that, I guess you could really say that's the original Field of Dreams, because that's where a lot of current players in Major League Baseball played at that stadium for the championships.
Absolutely true. Field of Dreams. TK, that's what I've got today. Play ball.
Aaron, go ball.
TK, great day at the baseball game. The Round Rock Express playing my Paso CHIHUAHUAS. What's interesting about the Round Rock Express Stadium is that the home team is on the third base side, not the first base side. And in DTN world, that's not good karma. That is just not good karma. The home team should be on the first base side. All in all, a great day. Lots of little notes for you. Met some great people. But baseball, it's all good. Play ball.